With the NFL season just over 2 weeks from kicking off with training camp, many analysts and reporters, such as myself, are spending the time analyzing the Chiefs' possible three-peat and how it can be thwarted. Want to find out who my contenders are to unseat the Kansas City Chiefs and thwart their hopes of a three-peat. Find out next on Gridiron Gab Pro Style.
The autumn winds move like the thunderous waves of Neptune's sacred palace. And here, amongst the blackened soil, lies the ragged hands, worn, torn, and callous. They await with cunning and vicious prowess, for the warriors have returned.
Come on, Dave! Don't do it! Woo! No way! Woo! 85! Crying out loud! Are you kidding me? You're driving me nuts!
But behold.
Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for spending a little time with us in our summer vacation. Well, for the players, of course. I am Mr. CeeLo. And guys, my Chiefs three-peat will not happen show has garnered some attention, you guys. Go by and check it out. The all eyes on the Chiefs, nothing will be able to stop them show only garnered less than half of the views. But as soon as I said the Chiefs were not going to win a third Super Bowl.
Stop the cap, bruh.
Whew, look at that. Look at the love I got. I also had two brand new subscribers that joined the Gab family. I don't know who you guys are. My notifications are not very well received. But I am going to read these comments, you guys. Hope you guys had a great 4th of July, by the way. Thank you for joining us. Mike VC says, laugh out loud, all these losers trying to say BS about KC. Get ready, MFers, three-peat's coming. Well, Mike, I'm going to go over this in this 6-part series. As many of you know, this is part 1 of the 6-part series of the individuals that may or may not. The 6-part series that is going to tell the tale of whether or not the Kansas City Chiefs can repeat. And I'm basically giving you 6 teams that are going to be roadblocks. And I may add a 7th. It all depends on just how, if this certain team can make one more key move.
Dumb shit! Dumb shit! Dumb shit!
This guy can't be serious. To only talk negative about the Chiefs and not talk about what other teams can do to improve is asinine.
I'll make you famous.
What the?
Well, this could be you. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but the reality of it is you go where people like to watch, which is how the Kansas City Chiefs, a three-peat, can be denied.
What?
But I'm going to let you guys know, and a lot of you guys, I take notes. So if any of these 6 teams thwart the Chiefs three-peat opportunity, I'll be sure to give you a heads up in your inbox. Of course, not on.
Who cares?
Laugh out loud. Haha, never, baby. KC all the way. That was Mike. Mike. It's never been done before. So listen, KC fans, you can be overconfident, but
Stop the cap.
Cut it out.
RRAGL50 says Bengals will top the Chiefs.
Why don't you explain it to me?
Unfortunately, the Bengals are not on my list. I could go in and do a show why I think the Bengals won't do it, but I will make a note of it in one of the 6 teams that I believe will stop the Kansas City's three-peat. And Mike VC also replied there saying, laughing my
Bruh.
whatever. And then Gregory says, I think you mean who, not whom. Reality of it, I had 2 guys question me on the whom will foil it grammar, baby. Listen, I get it. But the fact of the matter is, if that's the only thing you can find wrong with the show, skip past it. Okay? All of us have issues, whether it's a typo, you make a mistake in speech. Nobody's perfect. Just go with the content. I admit that. I made the mistake.
What a dumbass!
Is that your best?
Chris says, I got the Lions winning the Super Bowl. And I actually got 2 likes on that comment. Ironically enough, you already know, Chris, that the Lions are one of the teams that I'm selecting that could knock off the Chiefs. And Randy says, good one. I can see it. So, as I said, these 2 gentlemen second the motion that they agree that the Lions can do so. And then you get Bad Driver says, I mean, you can't say they won't. You can say there's a good chance they don't because it's never been done. But I think if anyone can, the Chiefs can. We will just have to wait and see. And can't say nothing till we get to the playoffs. Bad Driver. Unfortunately, we've got almost 2 months before kickoff. So, if you're a KC fan, that's fine. But the reality of it is, we have to have stuff to talk about. And the reality of it is, if KC was going to three-peat, and it was that easy, we wouldn't even play the season. We just go ahead and hand them the trophy. But I've already told you in this show how the Chiefs, their weaknesses, and what could cost them. I don't think I went in depth enough, in my opinion. I've looked at the show and there were major points that I missed. But I will elaborate on some more points later on as the teams that I selected as potential threats to their three-peat as we get into that part of the show. But without further ado, let's move on to start show number 1 of 6 of the teams that I, Mr. CeeLo, believe have the best shot of knocking off the Kansas City Chiefs. And we have to start with the usual suspects, or the obvious ones. The number one obvious one, in my opinion, are the Baltimore Ravens. And most people are going to say, well, how are they the most obvious? Well, because they were the top seed last year. So, honestly, let's do the evaluation, shall we? Now, the Kansas City Chiefs have been a really decent, a really top-notch defense the last couple of years. Offense, not so much. They've really changed their approach over the years. Last year, to me, they weren't even the top 5 best team in the National Football League.
It's official. You
Just saying, you can be upset if you want to, but most of what Kansas City did well is they hung on, scored enough points to stay in those games, and then they beat you at the end. But let's not go deep into that, but let's look at what the Ravens bring to the table. Now, a lot of people said that the Derrick Henry move was a little bit too late. I don't think so. I think when they took Derrick Henry in free agency and just went, the running game is going to go to another level if he stays healthy. Because Lamar Jackson not only, and this is what I've heard, he's muscled up, lost some weight, slimmed down, and according to reports, he's thinner. Now, I don't think that's necessarily a great thing because you've got a running quarterback that has had problems staying healthy the last couple of seasons. And this offense is all about Lamar Jackson's running ability, not necessarily his arm. And I've challenged people and I've told people I do not care for his abilities because he has been in the league this long and he still struggles throwing the football. And people are going to say, well, his accuracy is this, that. He throws a lot of short balls. A lot. And you can challenge that on me if you want to. But the reality of it is he still has not achieved the status of people fearing his arm. They don't. And we're here, I say that the Ravens have the best opportunity if they can run the football. Because here's the reality. The Kansas City Chiefs have still struggled stopping the run. Now, they were middle of the road last season. But I think what happens is when you see Patrick Mahomes on the other side, and even Todd Mumpkin, I remember Stephen A. Smith said something after the Ravens lost that AFC title game. He was wondering, how come Lamar Jackson threw the ball so much? Honestly, I can't say I disagree with him. I'm in a situation where I can't gamble. Well, I'm not even going to say can't. I would not gamble knowing that Mahomes is so limited because my defense is such a bulldog. I wouldn't even concern myself with it. As when you look along what the Ravens did, I get it. They were trying to throw the ball down the field. I get it. That's what you want to do. But you have to establish the run. You have to establish the run. And this is what they do. Whether it's establishing it with Lamar, or whether you establish it with, in this case, you establish it with one Derrick Henry. And here's where I think Willie Gay is going to be, the Willie Gay loss and the Mike Edwards losses are going to be huge because these two guys were really effective along that line of scrimmage. And ultimately, now I understand what a lot of people are going to say. They're going to say Brian Cook and Justin Reed are those guys that are going to be guys that are going to play that position. Yes, they did get an upgrade. I have no disposition talking about that Justin Reed was huge for the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm not going to question that. But you have to think about it from the standpoint of that when you lost L'Jarius Sneed, a guy who shuts down one side of the field, you have to come with the idea that you have to replace that kind of production along the line of scrimmage. And ultimately, where are you going to get that production? Can Cook be that guy that does that next level dirt? I mean, obviously they were comfortable enough because they allowed him to walk. They allowed Edwards to walk out the door. Me, I would not have so much. I mean, I get it. There are certain players you feel like you can do without, and the safety position is another position that truly has been just undervalued. It's almost like the new running back position on the defensive side, which leads me to who is the best safety in the league right now. And everybody's going towards this guy as the prototype, and that would be Kyle Hamilton, whom happens to be the Baltimore Ravens. And this guy was a force in that AFC title game. He has really come into his own, and guys, do not be surprised if this guy ends up being in the MVP, defensive MVP, or defensive player of the year award eventually. I foresee the Baltimore Ravens using him a lot. He is such a good cover guy. He is such an effective and efficient cover guy, and he's such an efficient blitzer. He's just really good at a lot of things, and he's very fast. And this is, to me, what's going to make the difference, because with Baltimore being able to maneuver him around, it's so difficult to know what they're going to do. They like to play him in man. They put him up on the line to cover Travis Kelce, and they even cover guys in the slot. So, especially with him being another season experienced in this defense, he is the guy that's going to make this go. And then, of course, you have so many other defensive players for the Baltimore Ravens, like a Wuhey and Kyle Van Noy, who is a major re-sign for the Baltimore Ravens. Because to me, the only weakness that this defense had, in my opinion, outside of their corners, was the pass rush. And ultimately, this is the reality. If the Baltimore Ravens, and I think they're going to use Kyle Hamilton a lot because, as I said, you got Van Noy and away, you have to be able to generate that pressure. And, of course, Baltimore's number one weapon is you don't know who's coming and where they're coming from. I mean, they could line up 8 guys on the line of scrimmage and back 5 of them out. And guess what? Some guy's still going to go free because you don't know where it's coming from. Then, of course, you got Raquan Smith in the middle, which he'll be an effective player, stopping Pacheco, who's really, in my opinion, not a guy you worry about more so. but you're not going to be able to get much. And he will lay the hammer down to guys like Kelsey, Miko Hardman, or even if they decide to send Worthy over the middle or Hollywood Brown. You do not want to send these guys over the middle with Roquan Smith. You do not want to do that because they will pay the price, and he hits to put you down. Now, how the Baltimore Ravens win this game or win a game against the Kansas City Chiefs? Well, let's look no further than the AFC title game. I mean, guys, the Baltimore Ravens were not a team that they were just completely garbage. To me, the only guy that played badly was Lamar Jackson himself. People can be mad at me if they want to. He didn't play that well. He did not. And I don't care what anybody has to say. He did not play well. He did not play this game well. And, of course, they opened the season with this game, which this game, a lot of people are going to say, oh, this is going to tell us a lot. No, this is not going to tell us a lot. This is not going to tell us very much at all because the reality of it is it's game one. And you got 18 weeks to go through. And what's the deal? I mean, you have to look at this and you have to say to yourself, Lamar Jackson's not going to throw the ball 37 times against the Chiefs. And a lot of people are going to speculate, oh, the Chiefs are better offensively. I'm not going to say they're better defensively. And this is where the Ravens can hurt you because they didn't get bad on defense. They did take a couple of steps back on the personnel that they have in certain areas, of course. But he went 20 of 37, one scoring and one interception, and the Chiefs sacked him 4 times. Now, do I believe they're going to run the ball more efficiently? Absolutely. I mean, look, Lamar had 8 carries, 54 yards in this game. And then we can also look back at this game and say, okay, let's look here and let's analyze exactly what happened in this game in a lot of respects. I look at it and I say to myself, Ty Mumpkin did not run the ball, but 16 times, 8 of them with Lamar Jackson. And it's kind of a...
What? What the...
So, it was kind of one of those things where they kind of looked around and said, hey, let's see if we can't... To me, this game was more of a repeat of the Clemson Tiger, LSU Tiger national title game, where Clemson was running the ball on LSU with Travis Etienne, and they just stopped. And I'm a firm believer if you stay with it, you're going to get it. And then the reality of it is we look at this game, it was 17-10. Kansas City was shut out in the second half. So I don't understand why Kansas City fans are talking so big that they're going to do. This is to me, when they went and they signed Derrick Henry, this was a note to the world, and Todd Mumpkin was telling everybody, we're not going to do that again.
You want answers?
You're going to have to stop the biggest beast that we've seen in a long time in the NFL in Derrick Henry. And then on top of that, this read option is going to be tough. If Lamar Jackson stays healthy, this is going to be a combination that's going to be really tough to stop.
You can't handle the truth.
It's just going to be tough to stop. I mean, I get it. I love what the Kansas City Chiefs were able to do by drafting Xavier Worthy and getting Hollywood Brown on the backside. But here's the reality. When you got a guy like Kyle Hamilton and you got Marlon Humphrey on one side, you're going to have to figure out, if you're Mahomes, figure out what you're going to do. Now, I will admit, if Xavier Worthy gets lined up and you move him, it's going to confuse, well, not necessarily confuse, but it's going to make Baltimore make a decision. Are they going to back out of their blitz packages, or are they going to continue on with the blitz and Mahomes is going to take that shot? But realistically, I look at, because L'Jarius Sneed is not going to be a huge issue. The loss of him is not going to be huge here because Lamar Jackson still hasn't proven he can throw the football. Now, I will say this. If the safeties get up there peaking, you can get a guy like a Zay Flowers that can sneak behind you. No doubt about that. Zay Flowers is going to sneak behind some guys. We saw that in the Chiefs game last year, and Snead was on the field. So these are just the precautions and the concerns that Kansas City's got to have. Because here's the reality. Kansas City likes to blitz on passing downs. The reality of it is, can Kansas City get to Lamar Jackson before he dumps it off? Now, if I'm Todd Monken, I'm not even going to allow this blitz to get to me. I feel like their guys on the edge don't have enough experience to stop what I got going over here. I truly believe that L'Jarius Sneed is going to be a huge loss, and it's going to be a huge loss later on with a lot of the other teams that are on this list that I have. But ultimately, I think if the Ravens can run the football, confuse this defense, run right at this blitz, they have a really good shot of winning this game and stay with it. Because I don't think the downfield threat that the Chiefs have now rediscovered and reinvented are going to play a huge difference with a Ravens team that can blitz the passer as efficiently and effectively as they do. But guys, let me know what you think about the Ravens being one of those teams that can very well knock Kansas City from their throne and heartbreak and actually destroy their three-peat chances. Let me know in the comments what you guys think, especially you Kansas City lovers. I appreciate all the love. Make sure you subscribe to the show so you can get all of my haterade antics towards the Kansas City Chiefs, because they will continue throughout the year. But until the next, also make sure you go to my Instagram at Mr. CeeLo and check out all the things that I'm involved in, as well as go to the Facebook page at at Gridiron Gab Pro Style. But before we go, groups, you know what I mean? There are some really good groups on Facebook, and I'd love for you guys to go check them out. They have been a huge, huge influence on the show, and they brought some really good conversations here that I have been able to use. Sports Unfiltered Reloaded, that's a really big group that I'm involved in. These guys, they talk sports all the time, you guys. Football War Room, that's another big one. And the Sports Lounge. Sports Talk Smack. And Sports Center. Hardcore Sports. Talking sports every day. But guys, let me know what you think. Go check these Facebook groups out. And definitely, these are some hardcore fans. They get it, and they do what they do. They're hardcore fans about their crews, and they do not play around. But until the next time, you guys, same Gab channel, same Gab platform.
But behold, there is a warm breeze that comes from the west. The blazing sounds of victory fuel their everlasting quest. It is a call to arms, for they are here. An army that has the will to challenge and the will to dare.